When you have two or more data providers in the same document and want to merge the data, you have to link them using dimension objects. If you don't have the same number of dimensions from each data provider, then they are unbalanced data providers, and that can cause issues. Force merge function. Well, to explain this, I can define this force merge as it forces web intelligence to account for synchronized dimensions in measure calculations when the synchronized dimensions do not appear in the calculation context of the measure. I know you didn't understand it, so to explain it in the proper way, let me explain you. For this example, I'm going to use island reserve marketing, and I'm going to use two data providers. In the first query, from the first data provider, I am using country, resort, and revenue. Let me add a query and take the same island reserve marketing as the second data provider. Here I am using resort and number of guests, one measure. So if in both the queries you can see the resort dimension is common, right? So now let me run the query. So here is the query. Let me drop this in the header. The data is from the first query I got country, resort and revenue, and from the second data provider I have resort and number of guests. Since both the data providers we are using are from the same universe, the common dimension, which is resort, is already being merged. You can see here. So if I run a query by using resort, number of guests and revenue, I will get the proper result. These are correct values. Let me add country to here. So far everything goes so far is fine. So this issue becomes evident when I remove the result object from the block. So remember that my two data providers are merged by resort. When that object is no longer present in the block, the measures will roll up. Here the revenue is okay, still okay, because the country object was the part of the query context of the data provider. The guest measures fail because it is now being viewed out of the context. So let me create one more problem here. Result is the common dimension in both the data providers, right? So if I remove the result from here, you can see here. Now the number of guests is repeating. Revenue is fine. Number of guests is. Now I have created a problem. So in order to fix it, I am going to use the force merge functionality. Force merge is which forces the web intelligence to account for synchronized dimensions in measure calculations when the synchronized dimensions do not appear in the calculation context of the measure. Now how I am going to use the force merge formula here is select this column in the formula block, right? Force merge number of guests. Now you can see the results correct. The same function force merge. If you want to use this function in desktop intelligence, it is. If you want to use the same force merge functionality in desktop intelligence, it is multi-cube, same as that. Well, the magic of the force merge function or the desktop intelligence multi-cube function is that it changes the behavior of the report engine. Normally, when the dimension values are moved from a block, they are taken out of the context. By using one of these functions, I can specify that linked dimensions still have to be considered by the measures, even those dimensions no longer appear in the block structure. I cannot rely on fixed force merge to fix every problem that I have. If the data can be rolled up by the calculation process, then I am fine. But if the data has to be broken down, then I am in trouble. Note one more condition. If there are smart measures in the universe, then force merge will not work. In order to calculate the results correctly using smart measures need to have the block structure in the place to define the query.